The Indian Supreme Court has requested the Indian government to come up with a proposal for the appointment of a committee to look into the issues raised regarding bad debt and huge write-offs by public sector banks.
The Reserve Bank of India and the Indian Banks Association have been named as respondents in a public interest litigation petition filed in 2003, which has since been widened to include the RBI, banks and other financial institutions. A bench comprising of the Chief Justice of India asked the Central and Reserve Bank of India to respond to various issues raised by senior advocate of the Centre for Public Interest Litigation in the matter. The court also allowed the Indian Banks Association, another respondent, to file a response. The Indian Supreme Court had held in December that RBI cannot withhold information under the guise of confidence or trust with financial institutions and is accountable to provide information sought by the general public. Following this, in February, RBI had said over 1,000 billion Indian rupees was written off by public sector banks in the last 3 years. Experts are of the view that the situation would affect Sri Lanka as well. Committee on Public Enterprises records cite that loans written off by state banks in Sri Lanka for the year 2010 alone amounted to about 45.78 billion rupees. Records also show that during that year, the Bank of Ceylon has written off 12.6 billion rupees as bad debts, while the People's Bank has written off 18.74 billion rupees and the National Savings Bank had written off 2.11 billion rupees in bad debts.
This is a very good example even for the Sri Lankan policymakers, because if you look at the balance sheets of state banks in Sri Lanka, we can see there's a huge percentage of non-performing and outstanding loans. There are different reasons why people are not paying loans, and there are acceptable and fair reasons why not to pay the loan back. At the same time, there are some people who intentionally do this as a practice because of they know that the government particularly banks can do nothing to recover most of these outstanding loans. The reason behind this malpractice is the political intervention. The big people, big businessmen, they borrow money from the bank and they do not pay it back. Therefore, the good governance should take prompt action to revisit the existing rules and regulations, because we know that the existing rules and regulations are not enough to tackle these matters, and do the necessary amendments or to bring new laws in order to prevent and mitigate these malpractices in financial sector.